The opinions expressed in this video are independent and do not necessarily represent the views of tbnewswatch.com or Google Media. Viewer discretion is advised. The Wheelhouse with Gilles Galland.
3 words will sum up my entire video this week. Welcome back, NBA. If you didn't already know, or in case you don't care because it doesn't involve ice and a puck, the NBA labor dispute has been settled. Pennies on the dollar are no longer an issue, and we get 3 primetime games on Christmas Day. Lakers Bulls, Heat versus Mavs, and Celtics versus Knicks. Here are the key things I'm looking forward to on December 25th. And could it be a new iPad? Hintity hint hint. How will the veteran stars hold up? The lockout may have given some time off to the older players, but in reality, most of these players only have 1, maybe 2 seasons left to contribute to a team. Jason Kidd in Dallas, the big 3 in Boston of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, Steve Nash in Phoenix, and of course, Kobe Bean Bryant. Out of all those players mentioned, Bryant is the tricky one. You know the other stars are on their last legs, but with Kobe, it's so hard to count him out because of the talent and drive that he possesses. He can't rise up and throw down on you like he could 5 years ago, but he still has an offensive repertoire to dominate most games and still has the prettiest pull-up jump shot in basketball. Sorry, Ray Allen fans, Jesus Shuttlesworth got nothing on the Black Mamba. So if Kobe and these stars can hold up and not get wore down from a 66-game season, these playoffs in April should be just as amazing as when LeBron stomped on the heart of Cleveland. So, another perfect segue, can the Miami Heat get their poop in a group and dominate? In all fairness, let's be real here. This team has all the talent in the world to be able to dominate the NBA. But last year's NBA Finals opened up some glaring weaknesses about Miami, and specifically King James. The lack of post-game on the Heat is ever apparent when Chris Bosh is taking jumpers at the top of the key. And LeBron needs to drive the ball at defenses instead of pulling a Vince Carter and deciding to become a jump shooter and forgetting why he got 2 MVPs in the first place. It's unreal athleticism and the ability to channel his inner rhino and bulldoze to the hoop. When Bron was leading the league in scoring in Cleveland, he was averaging just over 11 free throws per game. But since he went to Miami, he's now averaging just over 6. That's not going to cut it when you're supposed to be in the debate for best basketball player in the world. Which, by the way, I think the title needs to go to Kevin Durant for now. No, not him, Kevin Durant, not Durant. You know, really tall guy, super athletic. He's black. Yeah, that's the guy. Okay, just to avoid future confusion, here you go. Hey, upon first glance, they almost look like brothers. As for Dwayne Wade, I don't really worry about him. He always held up his end of the bargain and will continue to be one of the top shooting guards in the league as long as he stays healthy. And to LeBron's credit, up until Game 2 of the NBA Finals, the Heat looked like they were on their way to their 2nd NBA championship. Then you know the rest of the story. Dirk became unguardable, and LeBron decided to kill the Heat's chances by taking ugly jump shots and making bad decisions. It sounds like the premise to an awful movie with a dog. No, that's not it. What was that flick called again? Ha, right. But all in all, if the Heat can get a banger down low or somebody who can drain some threes, they should have no problem contending for a championship and taking down teams like the Lakers, the Thunder, the Celtics, or the Mavericks. And of course, an obligatory Raptors update. So frustrating. Every time you think they take a positive step forward, they take an even worse step backwards. Yes, 2011 draft pick Jonas Valanciunas might be a good forward, but it's the backcourt that they're getting killed on. Jose Calderon and Jared Bayless are not the answer, so don't try to convince me otherwise. There were at least 3 or 4 point guards in this past draft that would have been much more suited for the Raptors roster, but instead, GM Brian Colangelo continues to be unconventional and tries to make this the Euro Raptors. My only hope is that the Raps tank, get another top 5 pick, and then try to get one of those college studs who stayed for another year, like Jeremy Lamb, Harrison Barnes, or Jared Sullinger. As for award predictions, I'm only going to do one, and that's MVP. The NBA writers are weird when it comes to MVP selection because they either give it to the best player in the game, like Kobe or LeBron, or every once in a while they'll do that best turnaround team story. Steve Nash and Derrick Rose, for example, have won just because of how much they turned around their team. So my choice is going to be Kevin Durant. Oklahoma is only going to get better, and they made the Western Conference Finals last year, so if they win 60 games, look for Durant to lock up the hardware. Finally, as you can tell from my awful duster, Movember is wrapping up, and since this is our last week of lip hair, here's a tribute to the best mustaches in sports. Ladies, don't you just have that sudden urge to make out now? I know I do. Thanks for checking out the Wheelhouse. Hit me up on Twitter at TBWheelhouse. Let me know your thoughts on the NBA lockout and what you expect to happen this year for this NBA season. Have a great weekend.
The Wheelhouse with Gilles Gallant.